road rage. It can transform even the gentlest people. Back in the 90s, LA was infamous for road rage incidents, but these days, it's everywhere. We're not just driving cars anymore. We're driving emotions. And if we don't learn to control them, the results can be deadly. News reports from Houston last year described how a simple honk turned into a roadside shooting that left one driver critically injured. A listener from Denver wrote in about witnessing a terrifying incident where a mother with her child in the back seat deliberately rammed another driver who had cut her off. These are real people with families, jobs, lives beyond that moment when anger took over. According to the NHTSA, road rage incidents involving firearms have increased by nearly 500% in the last decade. 500%. Let that sink in. The most disturbing part? The incidents that make the news are just a fraction of what happens every day. For every viral dashcam video, there are hundreds of near misses, middle fingers, and heated exchanges that could have escalated just as badly. Here's what we forget. Driving is inherently social. It's one of the few times where complete strangers with different destinations, different stressors, different life circumstances all have to cooperate at high speeds with minimal communication. No words, barely any eye contact, and just a few turn signals and brake lights to get our points across. When you think about it that way, it's almost a miracle we don't see more incidents. Dr. Rick August, traffic psychologist, who's been cited on this show many times before, puts it perfectly. You're not just managing a car, you're managing a social contract with every driver around you. That's why misunderstandings take so much weight. You get cut off and it feels like someone just insulted your intelligence. But most of the time, it's not about you. One of my good friends used to call this terminal uniqueness. It's a missed blind spot, a misjudged speed, or someone having a worse day than you are. That's what social driving really means. It's not just your road, it's ours. So what pushes us over the edge? According to research from AAA and the NHTSA, these are the top triggers: being cut off or merged into without warning, lane weaving and aggressive passing, tailgating, especially when there's nowhere to go, excessive or long honking, slow drivers blocking the passing lane, and sitting in congestion when you're already late. Any of these sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Me too. The sad part? None of these actions are illegal on their own, but add anger, fatigue, a slight deadline, or the stress of running late to pick up your kid, and suddenly they become matches to gasoline. I found a quote from Officer Monica Reyes with the Highway Patrol. She said something fascinating. In over 70% of the road rage cases she's investigated, at least one driver was running late. 70%. Think about that. We put lives at risk, including our own, just to make up a few minutes. Police in Phoenix reported a case where a woman followed a man for 5 miles after he cut her off, then assaulted him with a water bottle at a stoplight. It happens that fast, from zero to boiling point in seconds. A traffic reporter colleague told me about an incident in Orlando where 2 drivers exchanged words at a red light, then one followed the other home, to their home, just to continue the argument. Think about what has to happen for things to get to this point. Someone has to decide that whatever else they had planned that day, work, family, errands, is less important than pursuing this conflict. That's not rational. That's not what happens when the primitive part of our brain, the part responsible for fight or flight, hijacks our decision-making. So what do you do when it feels like the fuse is already lit? When someone's tailgating you, or screaming out their window, or making threatening gestures? Start here. No eye contact. This isn't weakness, it's strategic. Eye contact can escalate a situation immediately. 2, no hand gestures, not even a dismissive wave. Nothing. Everything can be misinterpreted. 3, create distance between you and them. Let them pass if they want to. Change lanes if you can. If they follow you, don't go home. Drive to a police station or a busy public place and call 911. And most importantly, don't take the bait. Our ego tells us we need to win. Your actual job is to get home safely. I'll say this again because it's worth repeating. You don't need to win. You just need to get home. A listener emailed me last week, Ron from Tampa. He said something that stuck with me. I've never regretted letting someone else win on the road, but I've definitely regretted the times I didn't. Rush hour is basically an emotional obstacle course, but a little planning helps, and that is what this podcast is all about, being prepared before you go out. Leave early so you're not driving with that pit of the stomach urgency. Have calming music or podcasts lined up. Hint, hint. Recognize your own triggers. If you know being late makes you aggressive, then build in buffer time. And if you feel the pressure building, breathe. Deep breath in for 4 counts, hold for 2, and out for 6. Or any kind of variation, but just focus on your breathing. Your nervous system needs oxygen more than you need to prove a point. Remember, we're not just operating machines. We're managing emotion in motion. If you've got your own road rage story, or better yet, a moment where you chose patience over escalation, send it my way, freewaytrafficexpert@gmail.com. Please leave a review, and share this episode if you found it useful. Until next week, drive safe and drive smarter now.com.